Hey, what's up guys, I am back with another video. Now this is mainly going to be a build video, just explaining a couple things about the game AI and why some builds are more preferred over the other and which is mainly going to support you and your playstyle. So first let's just talk about your character, yourself, so basically your own build. What I used to focus on is that I used to focus on agility because as an agility user, you should essentially be in theory fast enough to dodge anything that attacks you. And the way agility works in this game is that you have a set max speed, and then once you hit that max set speed, you will then gain an increased max speed right through agility. So as your agility gets higher, your speed doesn't really increase in a way, it's just that your max speed increases, so then you're faster, right? That's honestly the best way I can say it. It's honestly kind of weird because you would think that it would just automatically increase your speed, but it just increases your max speed. Think of it as like a car in GT5 if you guys have played GT5, right? It starts off slow, then after a certain time it goes faster and faster. That's basically what your agility does. Intelligence mainly helps with your gadgets and recharge times, as well as helping prevent status effects onto your character. So basically, let's just say for example that an enemy has a 50% chance to shock you, right? And in that case, what intelligence does is that it helps that 50% become to like a mere 20% or something. It helps a lot. And intelligence, I don't think it really affects your abilities, but more just like your gadgets. And for me, using first aid kit really helps with regenerating health and everything like that. So definitely, if you guys love using your gadgets, then intelligence is the way to go. Vitality, obviously you guys should know this. It just increases your HP and resistance to status alignments. And I'm pretty sure it's set for most of the skills that they will help with your defense, right? As you guys can see in Brutality, it helps with defense by increasing it. Obviously agility over here, and it also adds defense. So yeah. Strength, I think we all should know strength, and strength is actually very essential to carry most of the weapons in this game. It actually helps with melee damage a shit ton, and also increases your gear weight, and yeah, mainly it also affects guns in a way too, but not too much in a sense. I'm not sure how it really affects it. It might affect it by damage, or just overall gear weight, making it lighter so you can run faster. Not really too well known about that, to be honest. And second last, we have Dexterity, right? It affects the damage critical attacks and weak spots do. So if you guys don't know already, and I'm pretty sure you guys should know, but each enemy has a certain weak spot, and that weak spot can sometimes be hard to find or very blatantly obviously right in front of you. It's most likely the glowing spot on the boss, and this basically just increases the critical damage. It doesn't really increase critical chance, it just increases critical damage. It also increases the accuracy of your bullet circle. So basically, whenever you guys are free aiming, right, or just aiming in general with assist mode, you guys will see your circle, that aiming circle, get bigger and smaller, and this mainly just helps it stay small instead of always expanding larger and then smaller in that sense. And also it helps with gadget power, so increasing your gadget strength. So if you guys have a grenade, if it deals 100 damage, this will help it make it do like maybe over 120, and also helps with weaponry. Finally, we have luck. This affects item drop rate, and obviously the item rarity, and also increases critical hit rate. So this actually increases critical chance, right? It also reduces the damage from status effects. So some status effects like poison, for example, will deal like maybe 2 HP every millisecond. This makes it to where it's like 1 HP every millisecond, so pretty good personally in my opinion. If you guys want to mainly grind it out for better gear and more levels, then definitely going for all-out luck build is probably the best way to go. And then, obviously vice versa for Nova, because like, you guys don't exactly have anything different when it comes to your status effects. Not status effects, status skills. Now, if you guys are an agility user, right, what I highly suggest, actually, let me reset, let me just reset my character so then you guys can get a better understanding of what I'm trying to accomplish here. So yeah, by the way, that is how you reset your status abilities, the game doesn't really explain that properly, but yeah, for me, I'm level 88, right, and I have 5,060 skill points. Now, obviously, when you guys are playing this game, you guys might have a couple hundred, so in this case, I'm gonna limit myself probably under 2,000, just so then, it isn't exactly unfair of how I'm level 88, because I know a lot of people like to make build videos and set their build to a certain level when some people might not even be near that build. So this is just going to be mainly early on builds. You guys can obviously improve on this further as you play. So if you guys are an agility user, right, agility is going to mainly be your main skill tree that you want to focus on, right? Now obviously, as an agility user, you guys want to make sure that you also increase vitality, because even though you're probably going to be the fastest thing in this game, depending on your weapon, you will actually sometimes even might be the slowest thing in this game. So what agility does is, like I said, it increases that max speed. So even if your gear weight is all the way to the max and you can barely run, you can barely dodge, once you start running, even if it takes you like 10 hours just to get 1 centimeter or something like that, eventually you're going to get that huge burst of speed and you'll be just as fast as your agility will allow you to. So this mainly helps with heavy weapon builds, because obviously as a heavy weapon user, you guys are going to be very slow, right? But with agility, if you guys increase that, at a certain point when you start running, you'll be slow and then you'll be suddenly very fast. That's how it works when it comes to agility. And then obviously you want to focus on vitality, because if you guys are using a heavy weapon or even just using a normal weapon at that, sometimes some enemies do have that very BS tactic that somehow hits you. In that case, you obviously don't want to be the weakest thing on your team, because as a real player and as the AIs are very dumb in this game, you guys want to make sure that if they go down, you have the health to revive them before you get shot down yourself. You also want to increase strength, right? Because obviously you don't want to just use a pistol, right? Who uses the pistol in this game as a main weapon? I don't think anyone does. But yeah, you want to increase strength to at least 30, so then that way you can increase your melee damage and also increase how much you can carry. So then any weapon you do carry, whether it be a pistol or a rocket launcher, anything between that, you obviously won't be too slow in that sense. And also, it helps affect weaponry, so that's obviously a plus. Now, obviously, depending on your guys' abilities, if you guys, depending on which abilities you're using, intelligence may not help at all. If you guys mainly are reliant on weapons, then you don't really want to focus on intelligence, because what intelligence does is that it just helps you get those special ability bullets that help you, just maybe dish out a little bit more damage. For example, explosive bullets, fire, incendiary bullets, and of the likes. That's what really intelligence does, because you can't really get those without having high intelligence. With dexterity, obviously we will want that, because if you guys are fighting a boss, you guys will most likely want to hit the weak spot to kill it as fast as possible. In that case, you want to be able to do as much damage as you're hitting that critical spot, because even if you have zero dexterity and you guys may think it's not helping you, right? Compared to it, if you guys don't have any dexterity, there are some bosses where even if you shoot them in the weak spot, you're probably doing maybe 10 more damage than usual than where you hit them in a non-weak spot. And honestly, it's not even that worth it. You might as well just focus all your bullets and not miss any bullet at all, and just use aim assist and rather hit that weak spot, because sometimes weak spots on a boss do tend to vary, and obviously sometimes you may miss like a good couple hundred bullets every now and then, depending on obviously which gun you're using. And bullets in this game are pretty vital when it comes to killing a boss, because sometimes you can run out of it, right? And yeah, obviously it helps with your bullet circle accuracy. So if you guys are using an agility sniper build, this really helps a lot, because as a sniper you want to be as accurate as possible, even when you're not aiming, when you're using aim assist mode to get those very fast targets in PvP. Dexterity really helps. I probably recommend having dexterity as your second highest skill in your status skill tree. Now, luck is also very important. If you guys are using assault rifle or anything of the full auto category, or even tri-burst, definitely luck is going to be the third highest skill. you want to be in your status effect tree. Sorry, not status effect, just status skill tree. Because obviously it helps you increase those critical hit rates, right? And what it basically does that if you guys have a very high luck build, essentially you could shoot nearly, not everywhere, but nearly everywhere on a boss, and you'll be dealing critical hits. Like for me, for example, whenever I fight the shooting phage, even though I don't shoot it directly in its fucking face, I can still shoot its legs, and I would be dealing massive crit damage because of the fact of critical hit rates. You guys obviously don't do crits just by hitting the weak spots. You guys can do crits on regular enemies and even on bosses anywhere on their body. It's just a matter of having luck. So definitely, you either want to have dexterity or luck being the second highest on your build, never exceeding agility in that sense, because obviously you want to mainly focus all of your all of your skill points on agility as an agility user, right? The next build we are gonna be going for is a strength build. Now, obviously, a strength build means that you guys are gonna be using some heavy artillery weapons, mainly a sniper, or else a Gatling gun, or even a launcher at that. And in any sense, strength build really does help. So we're gonna focus on that right now. Obviously, if you guys are going to be using a strength build, you might as well take the best of it and really focus on using a heavy weapon. If you guys are going to be using a strength build, you guys want that strength to be really up there, because there are a lot of weapons that require a lot of strength, and obviously strength does affect the weaponry. So yeah, as a strength user, if you guys are going to be using a heavy weapon, you want to make Vitality your most likely second highest status skill tree is there, because if you guys are going to be using a heavy weapon, you guys are going to most likely not use agility at all. If you guys are using a heavy weapon, I don't ever suggest using agility. I suggest that you're going to be a tank, because if you guys are going to be using a Gatling gun, you guys are going to be nonetheless slow, even with an agility build. So I do highly suggest that if you guys are using a weapon that requires a lot of strength, especially a sniper, then you guys focus on strength and vitality. Maybe put like 10 agility, just so then you can get that extra speed boost whenever you're running. And obviously, as a heavy weaponry user, you guys want to actually make intelligence your third highest skill there is, because a gun like a Gatling gun or a sniper or rocket launcher, they have those special abilities. For example, the graviton shot, that's actually very useful in a lot of cases that help protect your teammates from bosses trying to rush them. And it just helps a lot of enemies stop in their tracks. So obviously, intelligence, even as a strength build, there is no shame in having intelligence the highest skill in your build, because obviously some intelligence skills do require your intelligence to be up to like 65 or something like that. So there is no shame to have your intelligence the highest or second or third highest in your strength build. In that case, I'm just going to leave it at 50, same with strength. If you guys are going to be using a heavy weapon in that sense, you guys actually don't want to be using dexterity, because most likely, depending on what weapon you're using, you might not even have time to hit a critical weak spot, because in some cases most bosses will focus on the closest enemy to them, and you might not even have enough space to hit that critical weak spot. So in which case you want to mainly focus the rest of your skills on luck, so that at least any part of the body you hit, you'll be dealing more damage than you would without luck. As an intelligence build, right, and I'm not going to be doing a vitality build, because vitality is mainly a second-hand thing that you always want in your builds. Unless you're mainly going to be a tank, then I guess I'll show you guys something like that. But as an intelligence user, or build user, obviously you guys are going to be the ability user on your team. You guys are going to be a support person. You guys aren't going to be dealing the most damage. You guys are going to be supporting the team so they can do the most damage. And as an intelligence user, you want your intelligence to at least exceed 65 people. The reason why I say that is I'll show you. Just wait, let me explain. You want your intelligence to exceed 65, so therefore you can get most of the abilities that require high intelligence. So then you get a wide access to a lot of abilities that could potentially help you and your teammates. Mainly strength is going to be actually your lower lower status skills. I'm just gonna say skill tree if you guys don't mind. It's just really messing up whenever I say status tree, because status is very similar to status effect for me. So yes, skill tree, right? On your skill tree, strength will mainly be one of the lower ones. Never exceed 35. Right, 35 is probably the highest I ever suggest you guys go for strength as an intelligence user, because you guys are going to be wasting a lot of skills on strength when you could be using that on a lot of other things. So usually 35 is the maximum I ever suggest for an intelligence user. Vitality, you obviously want it to at least be given a 15. I never suggest a build with at least under 15 of vitality, because having vitality in this game with a lot of BS enemies really does save you. Now, if you guys are intelligence, agility actually should be one of the third highest skills in your skill tree, so I'm gonna leave that at 30. And the reason why is because as an intelligence user, with only mainly being abilities, you want to be able to get around the boss and get to the boss as fast as possible, move in different positions so then you're never hit. Because as an ability user, you want to be given the best advantage you can over overall wideness of the map. You guys want to be able to move. You guys don't want to stand still, because if you die, that means your teammates don't get the buff you can provide. Now, if you guys are mainly using abilities, then I don't ever suggest using dexterity or luck. I only suggest just mainly focusing on agility, intelligence, vitality, and strength. But if you guys are going to be using guns and also abilities, then I do suggest on having at least 20 on dexterity and 20 on luck. And then that's probably the max I would ever suggest. And yeah, you guys can easily get this build near halfway mid game. In any case, if you guys are very early on the game, I suggest just building towards this. If you guys are trying to go for an intelligence build, now obviously as an intelligence user, like I said, you will be getting a very wide access to abilities, and I will be showing you guys them right now. So let's just say that I'm using a sniper, right? If you guys are using an intelligence build, then you guys get access to mainly all these abilities right here, right? And definitely the best ability in this game so far is the AED shot, right? Even if you don't go for an intelligence build, make your Arthur system go for an intelligence build, and I'll show you guys the reason why. It's because this ability, when you fire a bullet, it revives a fallen ally. Now, obviously, you can use this once every 90 seconds, but still, I don't know how many times where my teammate has died so far away from me, or I have died so far away from my teammates because, my AIs are just very funny in that sort of way, that they could actually shoot me all the way across the map and revive me instantly. So definitely a given ability for any person struggling with this game, or even any person that just doesn't want to die for too long. Otherwise than that, you also get access to healing field shot, which basically whenever you shoot it, if a teammate enters there, they will instantly, or at least mainly, get a lot of health back, depending on how much vitality they have. And definitely you also get the Electrodynamics Thunder. If you guys get this to level 3, you guys can essentially shock any boss in this game, and they'll be paralyzed for a good 5 to 10 seconds. And if you guys have a luck and dexterity build user on your team, you guys will just honestly demolish a boss in a couple of minutes. If you guys are going to be going for a tank, then I honestly suggest just going for vitality and strength, because as a tank, you're going to be mainly taking it up the A most of the time. So obviously having high vitality, high strength, so you guys can do as much damage as you can, not with abilities but with weapons, mainly a Gatling gun, because Gatling guns is probably one of the stronger using weapons in this game, but they can dish out good damage, close range, far range, medium range, and not even have to worry about ammo ever. So yeah, that's the best tip I can give you guys. As a dexterity build, if you guys are going to be going for a dexterity build, a luck build would be kind of meshed together. A luck build cannot go without a dexterity build, and a dexterity build cannot go with a luck build, because they suit each other so perfectly, both being critical rate and critical respot damage. Obviously you want these two to be mainly equally the same. So if I give 40 here, I want to give 40 on the other side, so then therefore I can max out the amount of critical hit rate and damage I can do with my crits. Otherwise than that, obviously, like I said, 15 on vitality, that's mostly a given. You guys don't have to go with 15, but I always go with 15 so I can get that extra bit of health so that I don't die instantly by most of the BS enemies in this game. As a dexterity and luck build, you guys are gonna mainly be using weapons. Abilities aren't gonna be your thing. So the only abilities you guys are gonna be using are probably just medkit, and that's a gadget. So you guys want to probably put a good 30 into intelligence, and the reason why is because you at least want to be able to heal yourself. You can never count on your AI companions because, like I said, they're very funny, very glitchy. So yeah, as a luck and dexterity build, you never want to go for agility because mainly you shouldn't be the main focus on your team. You guys should be able to use SMGs, get in there, deal that crit damage, and get the fuck up. And yeah, obviously strength is given, to equip most of the weapons in this game, so I just probably suggest under 25. And if you guys have to, then I guess put at least 10 on agility, so you guys get that extra speed boost whenever you're running. And yeah, that's mainly it for the builds. Now, what I suggest for the builds that when it comes to weapons and which weapon corresponds with which build, let me just say, guys, that you guys don't have to follow which weapon follows with which build. Obviously, you guys can use any weapon for any build, but obviously some match better with others. Now, obviously, on your game style, that very much changes. So using heavy weapons, and the main heavy weapons in this game is a sniper rifle, Gatling gun, and launcher. I mainly suggest using those weapons as a tank or a strength user build, definitely one of those two. If you guys are going to be using a melee as your primary, I suggest you guys dual wield and go for an agility and strength mix build. If you guys are going to be using any other gun in this game, I suggest luck and dexterity, because obviously you guys should and want to be able to do as much damage as you can. And obviously with the best fire rate and fire capabilities in your whole entire team, you guys should be able to go in there, dish out that damage, then get the fuck out before that boss finds you, right? So yeah, your Arthur system, right? I don't know how many times I have had to say this in my videos while playing campaign, that your AI companions are very glitchy, very funny. Just makes you want to hit them sometimes, even though most of them I obviously can't because that's just messed up. Now, the AIs are actually very glitchy. I usually never suggest going with AIs because obviously if you bring AIs with you, the harder the enemies are, and that's a given. You guys obviously can't play this as a solo, and the enemy difficulty and enemy BS will adjust to whoever you're playing with. So obviously the only AI in this game that probably isn't as glitchy as compared to the others is probably Silica, Lisbeth, if I am pronouncing Lisbeth right. I kind of like Elizabeth, but Lisbeth is fine. And obviously your Arthur system, in my case Nova. So obviously I have done a little bit of testing. As far as I can tell, those three are the main I want to go to, because obviously your Arthur system you can personally customize yourself, so you can mix and match any build you have on her. And obviously Lisbeth and Silica, one's a tank and one's a support. Obviously Silica right here, she has Curing Field, which is also very good, and Healing Field Shot, which basically, gets you that instant health, which is just very awesome. Elizabeth is support, so she has that Electrodynamics Thunder, which makes enemies and most bosses in some cases get stunned for a good 5 to 10 seconds, and that just allows me to dish out that damage I need. She also has Explosive Shot, Power Field Shot, and Guard Field Shot, which is probably one of the two better abilities in this game, just because of the fact it increases your damage and increases your defense. And like I said, your Arthur system is just your Arthur system. You can customize any build on him or her. Now for me, I mainly put on an intelligence and strength build for her, and the reason why is because I wanted her to have the skill where she can instantly revive me with that AED shot. Definitely one of the best abilities in the game, if probably not the best, just because of the fact that you're able to revive a teammate without actually having to go to them, and having this on your Arthur system can definitely be a dungeon winner. So I don't know how many times that I didn't have to restart a dungeon just because of the fact she could revive me far away. And if you guys don't know already, right, the AIs in this game, they like to run around your body and sometimes don't even revive you just because of the fact they're getting shot at. With this, she's able to revive you at a distance, so there's no harm done to you and your teammates, hopefully, if they haven't died already. And obviously as a level 88, but in this case I'm just going to treat her as like a level 20. I tried, I think near level 40, this is when I was able to get her intelligence up to 65, which is what you need for the ability. So this is what you need for the ability, right? This is what you need. So this is what you need, right? All you need is vitality and intelligence. And once you get that, you can focus on anything else. Once you get your intelligence to 65, you can focus on anything else. And obviously you need your vitality to 31. Now, actually, let me just check just in case, just so that I don't actually screw with your guys' build. Here we go. Okay, and you need 17 luck, right? So once you get those, you can focus on anything else. But after that, she's basically set, because with that one ability, she really does help you a lot in so many ways you just cannot imagine. Now, obviously, I also put on healing field on her, so then she can heal me too. I mainly just put my Artifice system on a support build, because I don't know how many times where you get damaged and can't even automatically regenerate health. You either have to have a passive equipment that regenerates your health, which in my case I have an active battle skill, or that's what I like to call it. It's basically a passive that allows me to generate 99% of my health in over a minute. It's essentially more fast than a medic kit, but with the medic kit gadget, it really does help that ability get me more health in less than a minute. So if you guys do have a perk like that, or actually an item like that does that for you, you guys are very much set. Now, to get items like that, actually I'll show you where. You guys can get them from the Epic Gears vendor, which is in Urban District in Glocken, and he is right over here. Just basically restock his inventory until you get something that gives you 99% health regeneration over a minute. Never get that health regeneration crap. You want basically this. And as far as I can tell, this is mainly the only item that can possibly do something like this for you guys, and it's the optical wings. My optical wings generates 99% of my max HP recovered over a minute. If you guys get something that just says health regeneration, basically like right there, HP recovery, right? What it means, guys, like, this is complete BS. It doesn't regenerate your health. It does not. What it does is that if you get an ability that regenerates your health, that's a different story. Very shit explaining, and I feel that should have been very much explained, but obviously as a game, I guess we're meant to find out for ourselves. That's mainly it. That's what I use for my Nova. That's what I use for her build. And obviously, what I do highly suggest, guys, is that you focus on getting this ability leveled up. This ability is honestly a winner in my personal opinion. The Electrodynamics Thunder. If you guys, like I said, if you guys get this to level 3, you guys can stun any boss and any enemy for a good 5 to 10 seconds. And most of the time, when it comes to luck and dexterity build, that's all you need to deal 1 to 2 bars of health. So definitely, this is something you guys want to focus on. So yeah, I hope this video helped you guys. If you guys are struggling with XP and you guys want more CP, you guys can do an XP glitch. I'm not gonna say I created it, and I'm not gonna say I found it. This is just something I discovered, but obviously I'm not the only one. Basically, what I did is that I went to Remnant Wasteland, which is right here, and I went to the back over here. Alright, now there's guaranteed to be 2 enemies that spawn right here. Sometimes there's a chance an enemy spawns right here and one right here, usually in pairs of 2, in which case you kill one partner, wait for the other one to revive the other one, and kill the one that's currently reviving him, and just keep doing that back and forth, and in about like 30 minutes you get like over maybe 100,000 XP. So yeah, very good XP farm. Definitely, if you guys need the CP, then that is probably the best way to do it. Obviously, dungeons is crap for XP compared to that exploit. So yeah, I hope this video helped you guys. I hope this gave you a bit of understanding on how I think builds should work. Obviously, as gamers, you guys don't have to follow this. This is just mainly help you to figure out which build you guys want. But as gamers, strive to be creative, strive to play to your own unique game style. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I guess I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.